Welcome back, everyone, to Jupiter's Croc here on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. This is a show where we are watching every episode of the Spartacus series on Starz that came out probably about a decade ago at this point in time. We are almost finished up with the first full season of it, Blood and Sand, and we are on episode 11 entitled Old Wounds. Today I'm joined by Steve.
Hello, hello.
And Ronan.
Yep, I'm still here.
Now, Steve, are you still emotionally okay from what you experienced last episode, the death of your favorite character, Vero, in a very slow, painful, gruesome, drawn out way?
Well, we're definitely not recording these episodes back to back, and so I've had a week to recover, and so I feel like I'm in a good spot now.
Okay, that's good.
This is totally not the exact same table, poker table from the last episode.
The kayfabe, Steve. The kayfabe. What would Corny do?
So we are going to talk about Old Wounds, and I think this is the episode that really changes the show, at least for Spartacus. By the end of this episode, Spartacus has a mission, and that mission is going to be outlined by Ploticus. Go ahead, Ploticus.
This episode's fucking weird. It's good, but it's also fucking weird. But it starts with Vero's corpse being handed to Aurelia, his wife, and Aurelia says, I heard you killed him. Is it true? And Spartacus says yes. And Aurelia tells him, he loved you like a brother. What the hell? And Spartacus... it's very obvious that Spartacus blames himself because he doesn't defend himself at all here. He just takes takes the criticism from Aurelia, and off goes Vero and his body.
Yeah, what would Spartacus should have been like? Actually, no, he grabbed my sword and plunged it into his own neck, so that I could take care of you.
All Spartacus would have had to have say was I was commanded to do so. I mean, I guess I can kind of understand why he doesn't, but yeah. Anyway, he just accepts responsibility for this act that clearly was not his fault.
Well, it's the difference with Gannicus in the first season when he is forced to do something. He's just kind of oh well, this is how slaves do. He can kind of write it off that way. Spartacus still has that, the spirit, the will, the soul of the free man in him. So, he still kind of has that mindset of, my choices are my own, even though they necessarily weren't in this instance.
He's coming out having a come to Jesus moment of what it actually means to be a slave. We've seen that sprinkled out throughout this season where he kind of... that moment when he grabs Badiatus and Asher looks at him holy shit, what did you just do? And things of that, where he, like you said, Ron, he still believes he's a free man in his mind, but now the reality sort of hits him in the face. I don't think he can deal with it. I think he's just kind of in shock, and he's just kind of in depression, which you see throughout this episode.
Agreed.
Steve?
Yes?
Let's go continue. If there was
awkward I didn't know if you were done talking about the first 15 seconds of this episode or not. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Give me a minute. That's more silence.
Anyways, after this scene, Badiatus meets with Spartacus, and they have this talk about how Spartacus is very upset, but Spartacus also doesn't really blame Badiatus. There's certainly an argument that Badiatus should take some blame here. We discussed it last episode. Badiatus could have said no and just didn't. But at this point, Spartacus is not blaming Badiatus. He is blaming Clavius and Numerius, his kid. And so Badiatus lets Numerius know Badiatus lets Spartacus know that Clavius is going to get his. I am plotting against him. And Spartacus says, I will help you with that. But Badiatus says, no, just know that it's being taken care of. Let's put your focus on the next games. Pompey is coming, and you've got to fight his champion. You're going to be in the Primus.
Heracles.
And Spartacus says, okay, well, whatever I win, I'm going to donate that and all my future winnings to Aurelia. I want to make sure that Vero's family is taken care of. And Badiata says, that's very honorable. I will match it. Real quick, do either of you believe that Badiatus would have actually matched it?
Yes.
Maybe once.
I think he was serious. He came across as serious anyway, because I think he feels bad about what happened.
Spartacus happy.
Yeah. Now, if Spartacus lost or died in the arena, he would not be given any money to Vero's widow.
Yeah, agreed.
I think he'd do it once. I don't think he'd keep doing it.
I think he probably would have done it at least until Spartacus stops paying attention to whether or not it's being done.
Yeah, because at some point she's going to come visit Spartacus, and Spartacus will be like, "You get the money from Badiatus?"
I don't think Aurelia has ever. I don't think. Oh, so Aurelia will show up later in the season, but I don't think at this point Aurelia was ever going to. I don't think Spartacus ever expected to see Aurelia again at this point.
Maybe. She's gotta get
she wasn't going to come. What was she going to do? Come and visit? Oh yeah, I know last time I saw you, I called you a little fucker. Well, I just figured I'd want to come and hang out.
If that's the case, then the real question is, do you think Badiatus ever would have delivered any money to her? Or do you think he would have just pocketed all of Spartacus's
winnings?
I
think he would have delivered it.
How? Like, why?
Because I don't know. I mean, I guess if at any point in time, Spartacus could be like, "Hey, Mira, I want you to leave the Ludus for a while and go check on Spartacus."
Yeah, do that magic thing you can do.
Regardless, this is the agreement they have. Spartacus is going to donate all of his winnings to Aurelia, and Badiatus says he's going to match it, and then Badiatus goes and meets with his assassin. Apparently, this guy's name is Aulus. But he's the carriage driver that brought Sura to the Ludus, and ultimately, we know at this point that he killed her. But Spartacus doesn't know that. And so Aulus shows up, and Calavius has already been kidnapped. It seems like it's been 15 minutes since the end of the previous episode, and Badiatus has already carried out his plan to capture Calavius. Because Aulus says, "Hey, it's been done. We got him." And Badiatus says, "Cool, good job. Go and get help yourself to all the wine and women." And he calls Badiatus Dominus. Is this guy also a slave, or is that a title that's not reserved for just slaves? But he seems like just kind of a mercenary.
Yeah, I don't think he's a slave.
He uses the title that all of the slaves use for Badiatus. I don't know. We're thinking too much into it. Regardless, he goes to help himself to wine and women. Xena goes up to Badiatus and just tears into him. Are you fucking crazy? Going after the magistrate, and Badiatus will not back down. Spartacus is still bleeding. It's kind of clear to the audience that his wound on his side is infected, and he begins having visions of Vero. And eventually, during training, he just collapses, and he's taken to the Medicus. Mira is told to go and stay with him whenever the Medicus isn't around. And Spartacus begins going on a spirit journey that we'll talk about more in a little bit. But anyways, let's get back to Calavius. Badiatus has not killed Calavius. Badiatus just has him tied up in the sewer. And Badiatus and Aulus and Asher are just having fun beating him and just fucking with him, just kind of generally torturing him. And this is where Calavius says, Badiatus, I told you the truth. I didn't mean to offend you, but, Rome runs on a class system. This is not news to you. But he's trying to tell Badiatus, I was being completely honest with you. I didn't want you to embarrass yourself trying to get into politics when you don't have the ability to be in politics. And eventually, Badiatus is just not having it. And so Calavius eventually just says, "You know what? Fuck you. I'm better than you. I always will be." It's fucking great. The guy that plays Calavius is great in this scene when he's not backing down. He is, he knows that he's probably fucked, but he is not going to get Batiatus get one up on him.
He's
And
looking
so
down on Batiatus like Batiatus looks down on his slaves. And I love how they really show the difference. I love how they show the class system in this show. It's just like, you know what? You're beneath me, you little cockroach. Torture me all you want. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction. It's great.
But very importantly, they keep Calavius alive for a little bit. But back to Spartacus. Spartacus is in the Medicus's area, and according to Batiatus, already half dead. So who's going to fight in the Primus? Well, it's time for Crixus to come back.
Yeah.
And so Crixus is very excited. After all this time, Crixus is going to get to fight in the Primus again. He's very excited.
Well, he's never fought in the Primus, right?
Yeah,
because
he was upset about that early on.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, finally we get the Primus, and I'm not champion anymore. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So something very important, something that it doesn't make sense at the moment, but Spartacus is, before he passes out from his infection, he sees Aulus drinking wine and eating grapes and having sex with Mira and another woman, and Spartacus kind of like looks at him, and it seems like something's off, but he doesn't know what to think. And later on, he runs into Mira, and he tells Spartacus says, "Hey, yeah, I saw that you were with Aulus," and Mira says, "Oh, I don't have a choice. I was told to do it." And Spartacus is like, "No, I'm not jealous. I don't care who you're with. Just tell him thank you for trying to protect my wife the next time you're forced to sleep with him."
That was
Spartacus
a little rough.
Is kind of a dick to Mira throughout these last few episodes. Like, Mira, she's a slave, and she doesn't necessarily have any agency here, but it's very clear that she genuinely is interested in Spartacus, and Spartacus just does not give
She's
a
like,
fuck.
he meant nothing to me. I was just ordered to do it. He's like, I don't give a shit, you know?
Like,
Thank him for trying to, like, save
like,
my wife.
I don't care if Batiatus makes you fuck everyone. Just tell him thank you.
Next time your Batiatus has you doing that, in between sucks. Just let him know. Just let him know. Hey,
by
you know
the way,
what?
Spartacus says thank you.
Yeah. So let's talk about Spartacus, because this is what's Spartacus is hallucinating. Like, he's unconscious, but he's seeing visions of Varro and his wife, and they keep telling him tend the wound. And
Yes.
this is why I say this episode is very strange, because there's never been any overt supernaturalness in this show. The closest would be it just happens to start raining immediately when Spartacus kills Theocles. What are we to make of these visions? Are they actually spirits? Did Spartacus subconsciously know that
I think
there was a conspiracy to kill Sura, and he just
I
had
think
that in the back of his head, didn't act on it?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like it's got a fever dream, right? Because the Medicus is he's burning up. This guy's about dead. I think it's this weird fever dream, and I think he just starts remembering all of his memories, and he starts putting everything together. Because when he comes out of it, he's not 100% sure what's going on, and he has to actually ask the guy in a way you'll get to. But I think it's just he's in that weird fever dream sort of thing, and all of this, the visions of Varro and his wife, they're not actual spirits telling him that. It's just basically, like you said, his subconscious saying look, man, you know what's going on here, and we're gonna make it clear what's going on here. You have the time now to think things through while you're under this fever dream. That's what I think's going on. I don't think they're spirits.
Well, he doesn't really start to get the fever, the fever hallucinations of people telling him tend to the wound, until he sees.
Ronan, I'm gonna need you to tend to Frankie.
But he's having a good time. He's probably barking at the cat. But he doesn't. I don't believe he starts to get the tend to the wound stuff until he sees what's his name, right? Or was he being told that beforehand?
Or he's just told by the spirits to tend the wound. I don't remember like that.
It's like he's having a hallucination.
Over
Yeah, he's having a hallucination. I think it's when he's on the table.
Exactly when. I
think it's when he's on the table.
He hallucinates Vero just walking away, but I don't think he interacts with this hallucination. So it's got to be when he's actually like unconscious, basically like in a coma.
It's when it's getting worse. Okay, so it's like an infection.
So by that point, he's seen the guy, but like I think I think it's more of like kind of like what Matt was saying. It's like while he's in like this kind of like fevered dream, he looks at the guy while he's with Mira and everything, and there is a bit of a look there, as you mentioned. Like he knows something. Like even if he doesn't pick up on it, your brain did. It's like his brain, like it's something cued in on him that like this isn't right, and so during like the mad fever dreams, he's still kind of pondering on that. But it's also just kind of like clumsy writing,
Yeah, that's why I say it's weird. It's like suddenly Spartacus is having hallucinations, and the hallucinations understand more about what's going on than Spartacus does.
I think the hallucinations are just parts of his own mind. He's just
that's
manifesting
true for all hallucinations.
Yeah, and I think that's why I think it makes sense. I never once saw this and be like, ooh, they're ghosts, and they're coming and telling him, because they don't actually start talking to him until the wound starts getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and he's near death. Because when he first starts seeing him, that infection isn't terrible. It's like then when he's fighting in outside, and then Oenomaus is like, Spartacus, because he rips his whole side open, and the infection just starts going through his whole body. It just gets worse and worse throughout the whole episode, and that's how these things sort of manifest. And it's basically just, an artistic representation of Spartacus sort of hashing it all out in his mind.
I stand by it being weird. Regardless,
okay.
Spartacus continues to be told to tend the wound. The Vero hallucination and the Sura hallucination continue to repeat that to him. And when Spartacus finally wakes up, he understands what tend the wound means, because Aulus, who was attacked by Clavius, is now like over on this table, passed out. Like we'll get back to Clavius in a little bit, but Clavius like bit a chunk out of Aulus's neck. And so Aulus went to the Medicus and got treated. And so Spartacus he's strapped down, and so he has Mira release him. And Spartacus goes and wakes up Aulus and is like, what the fuck happened? He understands that tend to the wound meant, look at this guy's wound. This guy was supposedly injured in a failed attempt to protect his wife from bandits. And so Spartacus is like, if you were injured, like, where's your injury? Where's your wound? Where's your scar? Spartacus realizes that the injury was fake. And so Spartacus knows that something's up at this point. There's something going on, and so he starts to choke out this guy, and Aulus just says, I did as commanded, and Spartacus says, who gave the command? And Aulus says, Batiatus. And then Spartacus kills him, has Mira strap him back to the table so Spartacus can pretend that he was unconscious the whole time. But Spartacus knows that Batiatus fucked him. So that's where Spartacus is. But there's two other side things going on here. Crixus' story is he finally gets to go fight in the Primus, and Batiatus, the people are, there's a Duro and Agron fight, and Agron once again has to save Duro, and Duro is not very happy about it. But then it's time for what everyone thinks is going to be Spartacus's fight. It's the Primus, and Batiatus says, sorry, I know we all really wanted Spartacus to be here, but he can't be, and so, yay, everybody clap, Crixus is back, and everybody just immediately boos Crixus.
Boo!
And Crixus says, what the hell? Like, they forgot the honor I brought to this arena. And so Oenomaus, this is the first time Oenomaus has really done anything in the last 3 or 4 episodes. He tells Crixus, remind them that you are the champion. And so Crixus goes out to fight this guy, Pericles, I think is his name, and
Crixus is solid ass whooping. Yeah, Crixus is solid ass whooping.
But he eventually pulls it out in the end and beats Pericles. But he had told Naevia that when I win this fight, I'm gonna look at you and we're gonna make eye contact, and you are going to know that I did all of this for you. But unfortunately for him, Xena gets sick, and Naevia has
Clap for you, Steve. Sorry to interrupt. Clap
Thank you. It was hard to talk knowing that was going on. Anyways, Xena starts getting sick and has to be taken away, and so Naevia escorts Xena back to the Ludus, and when Crixus beats Pericles and looks up to the Pulvinus to make eye contact with Naevia, Naevia is not there, and so Crixus is happy to have won his fight, but he's also disappointed that he doesn't get to share the moment with Naevia. So we've covered Spartacus, we've covered Crixus.
Let's take a moment to celebrate the Crixus coming back and becoming the true champion of Capua again. Let's just take a moment because
the push X push X to doubt.
Yeah, no.
He won on his own.
But he didn't beat Spartacus, so he's not the champion.
Don't matter.
Spartacus is still the champion.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I mean,
Spartacus is only the champion because Crixus helped him become champion. Spartacus would have died had it not been for Crixus. And Crixus even says that to him earlier on, a couple episodes back. It's like, dude, you're only champion because I helped you.
Yeah. He managed to make himself
as a champion.
He managed to make himself useful before he was bleeding out. Crixus fucked up. Crixus fucked up in that fight. Got himself split open from the belly and from the back.
You stop.
Couldn't do anything except for prop up a shield. Barely.
You son of a bitch. I do not like where this conversation's heading. Steve,
why
did
you bring it down this way? Why did you bring it down?
So during, while they're all up in the Pulvinus, Clavius isn't there, and of course we, the audience, know that Clavius isn't there because Batiatus has kidnapped him, but no one else knows that. So everyone's asking where is he, and they assume he's off on business, but after the games, a note gets delivered, and it turns out that the note says that Clavius's cart was attacked and he's been kidnapped. Oh no! And so Batiatus, obviously very concerned about his good friend Clavius, says, "Oh, I'll go find him. Numerius, come with me. Let's go find your dad." And so, before the actual game start, Clavius is, fuck all you. I took all your money.
Jeez, they all bouncing.
When Clavius is tied down, he's talking big shit to Batiatus, and Batiatus says, "Oh, just wait until I get your kid," and that's what kind of shuts Clavius up.
Yeah.
And so Batiatus knows where Clavius is, and he's going to kind of lead Numerius to where Clavius is, but make Numerius think that it was actually Numerius in charge. Basically, Batiatus just wants Numerius to owe Batiatus. But that's not the extent of Batiatus' plan, because of course fucking Asher is here, and so Asher is one of the people that's supposed to be watching Clavius with Aulus before Aulus gets his neck bitten out and dies from the wound, and definitely not from Spartacus choking him.
I didn't think a bite could do that. Must have went further than we thought.
Yeah. And so Asher goes to Salonius, and good Salonius, and Asher tells Salonius, "Hey, look, Batiatus has gone too far." Because Salonius tries to say, "I don't have time for you. I'm trying to find Clavius."
I love this scene, man.
And Asher says, "I know where Clavius is because motherfucking Batiatus took him." And Salonius says, that's too far even for Batiatus, which is what we were talking about in the last episode. Batiatus has crossed a line here.
Yeah.
This was a hard fucking step to the right.
Yeah, an escalation. And so Asher convinces Salonius that no, Batiatus did this. Batiatus kidnapped Magistrate Clavius. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to lead you to him so you can rescue him, but then you've got to help me get out of town. because like when Badiatus gets caught for this, they're not just going to kill him, they're going to kill him and everyone in his fucking house, all of his slaves. Like, I am a dead man. Like, I am going to lead you to Calavius so you can get the glory for rescuing him, and then you give me all of the money you have so that I can go on the run. And Salonius agrees to this. And
let's point out that they've been teasing this sort of turn by Asher the entire season. So what's so great about when we get to the ultimate resolution of what happens here is in this moment, I actually like, oh shit, okay, Asher's making the turn here. He's betraying. This is what they've led up for multiple episodes, where Asher shows up at the market, gives Good Salonius some information. Good Salonius is like, look, man, when shit goes down at that Ludus, you got a friend in me. You can come over here. Planting the seed that Asher's going to turn on Badiatus, which is what makes this so delicious. What happens, Steve?
Yes. So, Asher leads Salonius to Calavius, and he gets there, like right as like Badiatus and Numerius and their men are so close they can hear them, and Asher's like, no, it's too fucking late, like we've got to leave. And Salonius is like, no, like we have to save Calavius, and Asher's like, you're on your own then. I led you to him. I need to get out of here before anyone sees me. And so Salonius goes to untie Calavius and pulls the bag off his head to find out that
he's already dead.
He's already dead. Calavius is already dead. And so then Badiatus and Numerius and all of Badiatus's guards come in just in time to see Salonius standing over Calavius's dead body. And so everyone immediately thinks that Salonius is the kidnapper and the murderer. Badiatus promises that his dad Calavius will be avenged. And then Asher walks up and just stands next to Badiatus, and so Salonius knows that he just got fucked.
The look on his face is priceless. He goes into a frothing rage.
And he knows there's nothing he can do about it. Like, what's he going to say? Like, no, Badiatus set this up. Like, I was working with his slave over there. No, like, Salonius knows that he is fucked.
It was the one-armed man.
And we'll see in the next couple episodes that he basically he knew this was the end of the line. He knew this was the end of the line. He knew that Badiatus beat him. He pretty much just accepts his fate. But Badiatus has gotten his revenge on Calavius. He has gotten his revenge on Salonius. And now Calavius's son, Numerius, owes Badiatus a favor. So Badiatus has still, after all of the shit that went down last episode, still has gotten everything he wants. We see Badiatus and Asher having a chat on the balcony, and they're kind of this is the point where they see that Aulus is now dead, and they discuss, I didn't think that was a fatal wound, but shucks, one less loose end to tie up. And then Badiatus praises Asher for basically pulling this off. It's like, Salonius thought you were honorable. How fucking stupid was he? And Asher agrees with him. And then Badiatus says, oh, look, what good fortune the house of Badiatus has. Spartacus is back, and Spartacus is out, and he's back to training. And Badiatus says to Spartacus, Spartacus, are you well? And Spartacus says, yes, Dominus, I am myself again.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic.
Great closing line. Great closing line.
I stand by the spirit journey was a little weird, but man, that ending was fantastic.
I like the spirit journey. I didn't have any problem with it. I agree. This is a fantastic episode.
Yeah, no. Like I said, it can both be weird, not very well written, but still work out in the end. Yeah, that's a great closing line. We are now totally set up for what is about to happen in the next few episodes. So, the die has been cast. All the players have assembled. It's time to see what's about to happen.
Yeah, and I love Andy Whitfield, like the look on his face when he delivers that final line too, and you just know it's like, okay, now how is it gonna, like, the question now is like, we know Spartacus is going to somehow escape, but we don't know yet. Is he gonna be able to kill Badiatus? Is, like, how exactly is the escape going to happen? And that becomes like the tension for the next few episodes. Like, all right, how is this going to work? How is Spartacus? Because there's 2 episodes left, right? Because this is episode 11. I think there's 13. 2 episodes left. How is Spartacus going to get Crixus on his side? How is he going to get Oenomaus on his side? How is he going to execute or formulate a plan without his best friend Vero around? Like, who does he have on his side right now? Mira? Basically, that's it. So the show does a great job of writing our lead character into a place where it's like we as an audience don't know how it's going to go down, and that's what's exciting. Like, we know the outcome, but we don't know how it's going to happen.
God, it's so good. Like this, like I said, the first third of the season was Spartacus the reluctant gladiator. Then it's Spartacus the gladiator that has accepted his fate, and now we firmly have Spartacus the rebellion leader. And I cannot wait to watch the next 2 episodes of this.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get to talk about him if Ronan's on fucking time.
You know, I'll put that at the top of the very top of the priority list, right by scratching my ass. So it'll be right there.
I don't know what else to say about this episode. I mean, I think it's great. I think Asher's great in this. I love the fact that they didn't do the cliche thing, which when I first watched this series back in the day, I was like, okay, they're just going to do the cliche. Asher's going to turn on him because that's Asher's character. I love that they kind of shock the audience, be like, no, Asher's also been playing good Salonius the entire time with Badiatus' blessing and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's like, so good.
Think about, there's a couple episodes ago where Asher goes and tells Salonius, hey, Badiatus knows that you go and sleep with this hooker at the same time every week. He's going to kill you tonight. Don't go tonight. Like, what was that did that just happen so that Badiatus could make Salonius trust Asher? Like, there's so many layers to this. Like,
yeah, it's like clearly it's like what happened, because like as bizarre as it is, it's like Asher, we get, he's such a treacherous snake, because like if you look at it though, it's like all the treachery shit that he does to the gladiators is because the gladiators have been pricks to him from day one. But Badiatus, Asher actually, like he realizes he understands the slave pecking order, but like Badiatus also understands, like, Asher has a skill set. I have a use for this skill set. And so, like, Badiatus does not treat, like, Asher in the same way that the gladiators treated him. Ergo, he buys Asher's, like, in terms of just fair treatment, he buys Asher's loyalty. And Asher stays loyal to him through the whole time, even into the next season. Everything he does is for, the remnants of Badiatus, for lack of a better word.
What's interesting to me, though, is that I agree with you that Badiatus doesn't treat him like a gladiator anymore, because he's not a gladiator anymore. But I do think, and I don't know if you could call this a criticism of the writing, Asher has been set up as he's always wanted. I mean, that's all he wants to be, as a gladiator. I know we got that scene a couple episodes back where everyone's laughing at him when he, gets the brace off his leg, and Badiatus is like, nah, sorry, dude, you're gonna work for me. And he has that moment where he really wants to be a gladiator, but we don't see that again. And I almost think that it's a little strange that Asher just sort of gives up on the gladiator dream, because he ostensibly, I mean, he could still fight. I mean, his leg is healed, so it's a little strange to me that he's kind of, I don't know how to phrase it, but he's just not really interested in becoming a gladiator anymore. It's an abrupt change from what his character was for most of this season, and even Gods of the Arena.
He also accepted his fate.
Yeah.
Maybe we just don't see it, really.
Yeah, I think he realizes that he's better, like he's better off, like keeping what he's doing with Badiatus. But so the minute that Salonius tried to buy Asher off, Asher probably, because Asher's been privy to Badiatus' desire to kill Salonius. So the second Salonius started this, my reading of this has always been, it's like, okay, well once the scenario played out, you watch the whole show. It's like with that hindsight in mind, you can go back and you can kind of tell yourself, okay, the minute Salonius approached him in the marketplace, like 4 or 5 episodes ago, odds are Asher went and was a good boy and told Badiatus. It's like, hey, yeah, he wants to, like, he thinks that he can buy me off. Maybe we can use this, to help settle some scores later on. And so, like, anytime he's met with them, like, odds are it was part of, letting, like, Badiatus knew about it. It's like, oh yeah, he wants to meet with me again in the Oh, he met up with me today. He told me such and such. Well, let's let him know about this so that way he trusts you more. Like, obviously, killing the magistrate wasn't part of that long-term plan. That just kind of happened.
Yeah.
But, like, they were able to tie it all together.
Yeah. 2 brilliant minds scheming together.
Yeah.
Badiatus was just, like... Cause that's what, like, this is the point. I remember, like, my thought when I first saw the end of this episode. I was like, wait a minute, like... all of those times, like when Asher told Salonius, hey, like, it's Hook or not, Badiatus is going to try to kill you. Like, was there ever a point where Asher was actually trying to help Salonius, or was Badiatus playing this long game Badiatus was willing to just kill random people and let Asher give tip-offs to Salonius because Badiatus was so smart he knew that at some point I'm going to be able to spin this and Asher's going to be able to help me get him.
Well, that's a good question because a couple episodes ago, after Asher tells Good Salonius that, hey, there could be an assassination attempt on you or whatever, there is that scene with Asher, Badiatus, and was it Oleus or whatever? And they mention, like, oh, he wasn't there, and Badiatus acts genuinely surprised, sort of, or something. So I don't know. Maybe this was something like Asher was kind of thinking about. Well, maybe I will go with Good Salonius if it works for me. But then he saw this opportunity to get in Badiatus's good graces, and took it.
Yeah, I can't, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing about the show, but I can't tell if all of this was Badiatus playing the long game, or if Asher was doing his own thing and just in the end decided that Badiatus had the winning hand.
I think it's good because it adds, multiple options here for these, scummy characters. And it makes you think and like, wow, what actually happened here? The show does a really good job at, normally we, as an audience viewer, we want to know everything that happened that led a character to a certain point or a certain decision. It's like, okay, well, why didn't you show me this or why didn't you show me that? If you, and this is just a plug for Nobody's Listening, the Star Wars show here on Outpost Unknown. But Rachel and I are going to be talking about, the finale of Mandalorian season 3, and my extreme criticisms with this aspect. So there's a whole bunch of shit that happens in that they never set up. It comes out of the blue. You never know why characters are doing these certain motivations suddenly, and that's an example of it being done really poorly, bad storytelling. But in this, I think it works precisely because it's not like we've established who these characters are and what type of people they are. They're schemers, they're backstabbers. We already know this. So if you sort of don't show certain moments and it makes the audience think and question, it's not because the audience is suddenly thinking, well, wait a minute, that's completely out of character for this person. Why would they do this? That's unsatisfying to me because none of this was established that this is something they would do in the first place. But with both Asher and Batiatus, it's already been established. Like, yeah, they could do this, or they might not do this. And so I like the mystery of not really knowing everything since we already kind of know what those characters are about. They've taken the time to establish them the way they are. The end.
Agreed.
So yeah, everyone, you guys have any final thoughts about this episode you want to throw out before I wrap it up?
God, the ending of this episode is so fucking good. So fucking good.
Yeah.
It looks like it's time for us to go all in blind on the next hand.
Yeah.
Boo.
Well, geez, I've won so much money, though. So have you, Steve?
Yeah, like the ending of the episode. Yeah, like I agree with Steve. It's like that's like that kind of makes everything else because it's not quite as good as the last episode. You do get that weird kind of, it's like, oh well, is this the weird mysticism aspect? Are the gods giving him visions now and all that? Like, it's like that part's like, yeah, you can take or leave that. But like it closes strong, which goes to show it's like Act 1 and Act 2, they don't matter as long as you nail them with the ending. You can cover up a lot of lost ground. They absolutely nail it with the ending. That one line, "I am myself again." Just it's like there's so many layers to it. It's just like, oh shit, it's about to go down. Woo whoop! Great ending. Great ending.
Also great Badiatus lines in here, like when he throws Asher up against the wall, is like, "Take cock in hand and follow the plan."
We are committed. We are committed.
All
right,
God,
going
so
all
good.
in.
All right. Shit.
Why do I keep doing this?
I mean, no one's forcing you. Like, Ronan, you don't have the mark of the Brotherhood. You're a free man. You don't have to do this.
You say that, but no, that's the what you're doing there is that's a fucking little game to try and get me to give me the not do it so you can talk more shit.
I mean, I have so much
Colonel
money
Sanders
that,
is in too.
even if I lose this hand, I'll still end with like 30,000.
Oh
So,
man, almost everyone's going in so far.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so viewer, stick
All
around.
right, there we go.
Here we go. It's happening.
Take
I
hold,
haven't looked
take
at my
hold of your
cards.
cock,
I don't know
sir.
how to
Do
have
it.
Six of
Boo.
Ooh, 2 jacks.
Oh, A6.
Boo!
Oh no.
Boo!
Oh, no.
Colonel,
I
Colonel
said
Sanders
sixes.
just fucked
Sixes.
you there.
Yeah,
Sixes.
Colonel
Give me
Sanders
sixes.
did fuck me here.
Not
Come on, I need
six.
one more
Give her
jack.
to-
Not
That's
a
what you get for
six.
talking
Six.
shit about
Okay.
the.
I need one more
Six.
jack.
I need a
I
six.
need one more jack. One more jack.
Boo.
Oh, who's got? Oh, 4. He's got a straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What a shitty.
Side
My
five,
guy's
two,
fist
three,
bump.
and one.
My guy's like throwing a fist up. So
It's like everyone except for him had a shit hand. So it's,
God.
Hey, I still ended the night 31,000 in the green.
Somehow
so I'm
I have
good.
somehow I have 71,000 chips now, so I won somehow, and I don't know how. Look at my chip
I
count.
don't- no, wait.
boo,
I'm
I don't
leaving.
care.
Bye. End of the
Thanks
episode.
everybody. See you next Thursday.
Our